Hello, good morning, everyone, or afternoon, or whatever time you're listening to this. I am so excited to have with me here today. My guest is Jeff Campbell, and Jeff and I met through the Go One More community. If y'all are not familiar, big fan, I think we're both big fans of Nick Bear and his Go One More. And I was reaching out to find more people on what's become possible for them in their life, specifically with working out and nutrition and overcoming some kind of big obstacle. And here Jeff came, and he's got an incredible story that we want to share with you today. So Jeff, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm so glad you reached back out to me.
Yes. I'm so happy you're here because as soon as I saw your message, I was like, yes, we need to share your story because it's going to inspire so many. So do you want to just start by sharing a little bit about yourself and then we'll kind of dive in from there?
Sure. I'm 41 years old, about to have a birthday, so I'm about to turn 42. Um, about 2 years ago, or 2019, I started to, I had a doctor's appointment, a yearly checkup, and it was negative results. My weight had ballooned up to, I was at 308 pounds on the scale at the doctor's office. And so I decided that I had to make a change and started my weight loss journey, as you want to call it. And that's what I've been doing for the last 2 years and hopefully continue to keep doing.
Yeah, that's amazing. And so you shared we're no spring chickens here. You work full time while you created this journey. You also have a daughter, you're married, so you've got all these roles in life like we all do. And yet you still decided to take on this journey and this big change. And I love to share all the details with folks so they really know, because we all have these time as an issue or how are we going to do it?
Hmm.
And it's like, you can do it. And you are such an example
Hmm.
of that. So I'm curious, Jeff, I kind of wanted to take it back to 2019 or even before then. What were you feeling before you actually decided you were going to make some changes? How were you feeling in life overall? Were you low energy? What kind of thoughts were you saying to yourself? What did life look like before you took on this transformation?
Well, that's a long story. Basically, I had trying to figure out where to start with
Go
this.
for it. Just you can go in wherever.
All right, so I I worked for you. I used to work for UPS, and I was on my feet all the time. I was a supervisor, and in 2015, I took a position with UPS Freight, and it was a totally different shift. Um, it was kind of a different industry
Mm.
than the little brown trucks that everybody sees. You know, we're dealing with larger shipments, stuff like that. So my daytime hours, I went to work around 2 in the afternoon, and I'd get off at 10. And normally, you got to think, I always worked daytime.
Mm.
You know, I had two jobs at that time too, and you know, I was home by 6, 7 o'clock at night or before, and I wasn't really. I didn't think I was a big guy, but I didn't think I was overweight that much.
Mm.
You know, people kind of give me a hard time. You know, pick on me a little bit. You know, but that's a different story. But um, and when I started to work the evening hours, the later afternoon and the evening hours, I found myself getting home later and eating and going straight to sleep.
Mm.
And also that I was a heavy drinker,
Mm-hmm.
and that I had a very bad relationship with alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
And um, in 2017, I think my wife and I were talking about this the other day, actually. 2017, I stopped drinking.
Mm. Good for you.
And I had kind of started to eat more, replacing, I guess, the comfort. Instead of drinking, I'd eat.
Mm-hmm.
I'd eat more pizza because I loved pizza. I loved ice cream. And I would work and I'd come home and just, stay up till 12, 1 o'clock at night and would go to sleep and then get up at 10 o'clock in the morning and wouldn't do anything. And then just, I'd do stuff around the house, but nothing physical. And I didn't know how much I weighed. I just knew that I kept having to buy bigger pants,
Mm.
the pants at Walmart that had the extra 2 or 3 inches, on it. And, just, I was putting on weight. And my wife had gotten really sick, and she had she had end stage cirrhosis of the liver.
Mm.
And I watched her almost die from alcoholism.
Mm-hmm.
And we had to, she got help, and watching her almost die from alcohol made me really think about a lot of different things,
Yeah.
and it was a dark place in my life. It was a dark place for her, I'm sure. That's her story to tell, but it was a dark road. She ended up getting some really good help down at MUSC in Charleston. She was at the stage where you had to get paracentesis. I don't know if you know what that
Mm-mm.
is. It's basically where your liver's failing, so there's fluid just building up on your body.
Wow.
And they can drain it. And she was having to get drained like once a week.
Mm.
She would go from looking, 120 pounds soaking wet to looking like 6 months pregnant in
Wow.
a week. And with the paracentesis, you can get that done, but you run the risk of getting infections. And that's what happened. She got an infection and got really, really sick. And I knew that we had to take better care of ourselves. We had to get better. And at the time, I was just worried about her. I'm a fixer. I was like, let's fix her. Let's get her fixed. Let's get her taken care of. And, they did some things for her down at MUSC that were amazing, and got her back to health, got her back to where she could come back home. And she's worked really, really hard on her sobriety. And she's almost 2 years clean. And, that really, us going through that together made me realize that I got to take care of myself, just like she's got to take care of herself, so we can take care of each other. And, I knew I had a doctor's appointment coming up. And of course, what I do, I'm going to start walking so I can tell them, yeah, I'm exercising. I'm getting it done. And they did the blood work, the week before or whatever. And when I went into the visit, the lady came in and pricked my finger. I was like, what are you doing? She's like, well, your blood sugar's high. I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, yeah, your blood work came back. It's a little off, And she was just, commenting. She's like, you have put on a good amount of weight. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, you're the one to tell me, you
Yeah.
know. But it scared me.
Mm.
It really scared me. I knew I was drinking sodas. I was eating cookies out the vending machine at work, Snickers bars, eating fast food on the way into work, and like I told you, the hours I was working,
Mm-hmm.
you you go in the afternoon, you get off, nobody, everybody else is asleep at home,
Mm.
and you just fall asleep.
Mm-hmm.
And I just put on that weight, and it just kept creeping up. And I'd weighed myself before I went to the doctor's visit, and I was shot. I said, I just let myself go.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, so that's where it started.
Yeah.
Sorry, I went into a lot about, the backup plan, but that's a big part of my story is what me and my wife have been through the last couple of years.
Yeah. And thank you for sharing that, Jeff. I think that's so powerful. Like that is a part of your story. That's a big reason why. And I want people to hear that and know that. So it's like, because so many times it's like, well, why now? Why didn't, when you started eating a little bit more and like feeling it at the end of the day, like, why didn't you stop then? And it wasn't until all of this happened. And not only you, but both you and your wife were like, hey, we've got to do something. Like, this is really kind of like this rock bottom. So I just think that's really powerful to share and let people inside to know the big why and reason behind it. So then you found out like you were at this weight, you were unhealthy, you really saw that look in the mirror and were like, I need to do
Mm-hmm.
something. So what were your first steps? Like what got you started to be able to make these changes?
Well, first I was thinking about that, and the first thing I did was I started to walk, and then I started to drink nothing but water. I cut out sodas completely. Like I said, wasn't drinking anymore, um, and I have a Gatorade every now and then, but mainly I would just drink water, um, and then I started to walk,
Mm.
and just started walking around the neighborhood every day before I go to work because I had time.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have to be at work till almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon,
Mm-hmm.
or at the time. Well, actually, at this time, I was going in. I was going in around. My hours changed a little bit, so I was going in around 10 o'clock in the morning. Um, but I had to make time, like you were saying a little bit ago, waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. But mainly at first, it was I just started to walk,
Mm.
and I started to eat salads, try to cut bread out. But I did cut bread out. Learned how to measure food.
Mm.
It's amazing. A tablespoon is enough of salad dressing if you want to use it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and just started to, basically did away with the fast food.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that we always do, we make a menu every week,
Mm.
and because I'm a budgeter,
Mm-hmm.
we like to budget. We all live on budgets.
Mm-hmm.
And we would make a menu, you know, and it would start on Saturday and end on Friday. And that way we'd make a list, or I'd make a grocery list and just get what's on that list.
And now,
And
sorry, I want to ask, had you ever done that before? Or was this something you looked up, you got resourceful, and you figured out, well, this is what we're going to do?
well, we did it before, but it was basically um, a menu of how we could eat the cheapest,
Mm.
and it had a lot of meat was involved, a lot of meat,
Mm.
um, and we just started taking more leftovers.
Mm.
You know what I mean? We'd make more food, so we have more leftovers. And because you got to make it convenient for you,
Yeah.
you know, because we all know on every corner there's a fast food, there's something right there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's convenient, right? So if you try to if you can make a menu of what you're going to eat that week, and it wasn't the world's healthiest at that time,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because you can't just start out. You don't start out knowing 100% what to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think a lot of people. I thought I could just, you know, I thought I knew it all at the beginning, but I found out I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, you can make that. You make the menu, do the grocery shopping list, and try to stick to the list.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and don't go down the middle aisles too much.
Yeah. Like it.
Try to stay away from there. Go around the outsides. You know, and started to basically a lot of meals I ate was salad.
Okay.
And then with meat, I would put chicken in
Mm-hmm.
it, or I would get deli meat and I call it meat salads.
Mm-hmm.
Just put turkey in there,
Yeah.
and I'd weigh it out. You know, I'd weigh out a serving, 1 or 2 servings,
Mm-hmm.
and then. But it took a long time for me to get used to my body going, okay, that is enough to eat.
Yeah. Yeah. How did you, I'm curious, what started to shift for you that you got that body awareness? I mean, so you obviously measured to start understanding what like a portion size for you would be, but then what helped you to really be like, I'm full now, or I'm not full? Like, is there anything you feel that really helped you to tune into your body and what was right for you?
Yeah, well, you know, it took a while,
Mm-hmm.
definitely, because you know we're all, you know, everything's like you gotta have breakfast, gotta have
Mm-hmm.
lunch, gotta have dinner, you know, but you can control how much you eat of breakfast, lunch, and dinner,
Mm-hmm.
and you can control what time
Mm.
you eat that stuff, and so when I guess at first when I started really looking at stuff was trying to cut out a lot of meat.
Mm-hmm.
So I would make hummus wraps with I can't remember the name of the wraps now, but I meant to write it down for
You
for
can
the
share it.
podcast.
I'll
But
put it in later. I'll put it in our notes.
yeah, but I found these really good wraps. They were only like I think they're like 50 calories. And you know, I'd put hummus down. I'd measure the hummus, a tablespoon, put that down with some spinach, avocado, half an avocado in one, and then put like banana peppers and jalapenos because I kind of like hot stuff, and goat cheese, and you roll it all up, you know. And I'd make 2 of them, and that would be my lunch. I'd eat at work
Mm.
or my dinner,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And I just I would do that for a while, and I would see that I'd start losing weight with working out and watching what I was eating. And I didn't eat fast food. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I stopped going to Wendy's, Subway. I used to love Subway. You know, chicken bacon ranch,
Mm-hmm.
um, and just started, you know, taking all my lunches with me.
Mm.
Um, I like to make fruit
Mm-hmm.
snacks. Like I'd get the tangerines and strawberries and kiwi.
Mm-hmm.
My wife showed me kiwi. Kiwi's like candy to me now. Definitely the yellow ones.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
Yeah, I love the kiwis.
So I'm curious too, during this time, because I feel like a lot of people probably have tried to make these healthy choices and do the meal planning and it works for a little bit, but then life happens or, you know, they get busy and then all of a sudden they fall off track. Was there any time for you that you struggled to keep up with this plan and to keep the healthy eating habits and and the working out, but even more so the healthy eating habits we're talking about now, like were there times when you're like, you wanted to say F this, like this is too hard or I don't have the time? Or was your why driving you the whole time that you didn't have these struggles?
Um, I don't think I never really when I started seeing progress,
Mm,
I I didn't want to stop.
mm, yeah.
I was like, it's working,
Yeah.
you know? I was like, my exercising, starting with walking and the stuff I was doing as far as my meals and what I was eating, it was working,
Mm,
you know?
yeah.
And I just
So that was your
couldn't
drive.
believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when that scale starts to drop, you know, like I remember when I got on the scale and I weighed 250 pounds, I said, "Oh my God." And I lost 58
And
pounds.
how long did it take for you to, when you first stepped on the scale there, to lose that 58 pounds?
It was about a year because it was right around my 40th birthday.
Mm,
I remember I was looking back through some photos and I was I just you know I was like, I can't believe it.
yeah.
It was about a year, maybe a little bit less.
Yeah.
And because when I started this, I wanted to keep it all
Yeah. Yeah.
because I don't like to regress. I want to once I decide I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
yeah, sometimes you fall back. You're going to have that ice cream, here and there,
Mm-hmm.
or that Mod's Pizza
Oh,
because I really
my boyfriend just introduced me to them, and I'm like, it's the salads, though. They have the salads too. It's the
yes.
best.
One quick thing about that is we would take portobello mushrooms
Mm.
and put pesto inside of it,
Mm-hmm.
and then go to Mods, and it's like the Subway of pizza, is what I
Yeah.
call it. And you get all this stuff, and then we just take it and stuff it in the bell peppers, and you bake them.
Oh. Oh, there you go. And it's still a quick, easy supper
And
and just healthier.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, the pesto's nice and greasy, but it's
Good
not.
fat.
Yeah, it's good fat, and that was we used to eat that every week. My wife would be like, "Let me go stuffed bell pepper or not stuffed mushrooms is what we call it." But it was her idea. She came up with the idea,
That's awesome.
and those are delicious. So if anybody listening, try
Yeah,
it. It's worth a
we're gonna
shot.
try that for sure. So,
Yeah.
Jeff, I wanted to like kind of switch then. So, you said you talk about the workout part of this, of starting your journey.
hmm
So, you mentioned you started just walking, like simply walking around your neighborhood. Tell us kind of about the progression of that. And then I'm curious and I'd love to hear the impact that you felt that walking had, or that just moving your body, whether it was walking and then as you transitioned, but what was the impact that had on your journey?
Oh, I mean, once you get your body moving and all that blood is going to every part of your body, like you're getting that heart going and you're exercising that muscle, you just start to feel so much better.
Yeah.
You go outside. Um, it's always nice when it's a perfect day, when the sky's blue and it's a beautiful day outside. That's easy,
Mm,
but that feeling that you get just being outside and knowing that you're doing
mm,
something and that you're better in your health, better in yourself makes you feel so much better
mm.
and makes you want to keep doing it.
Yeah.
And then I started running.
Yeah. How long did it take from you to go from walking, and even like, did you walk longer and then you started running? How long did that kind of take?
Yeah, well, I remember when I first started walking, and I was like, man, I did 2 miles,
Yeah.
and I was just like, yeah, 2 miles, and then I was like, I'm going to do 3. I'm going to do 4. And then I guess I was going through YouTube and all this stuff, looking at different weight loss stories and people's
Mm.
stuff and this and that. And I wanted to do more,
Mm.
I was like, well, let's see what else we can do. And or I can do.
When did you start
And
thinking that? Sorry, was that like 6 months in, 3 months in, a year in?
What? See how much I
Yeah,
can
when you
see how
were
much
like,
more?
hey, I want to do more. Like, when was that?
I'd probably say 6 or 8 months
Yeah.
into it, because like I said, I had to get some weight off,
Yeah.
to feel better, to, get motivated,
Yeah.
you know? So, that's why I say when I got down to about 250, a little bit less than that, I started running.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
And at that time, that's when I found Nick Bear.
Mm-hmm.
And he was starting to run a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And, so watching the stuff that he did motivated me to go out there and just start running,
Yeah.
and, I wasn't fast at first. I made mistakes. I overdid it. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't stretch right. I did a lot of stuff wrong. And that's one thing I want people to understand too is,
Yes.
it's not going to be perfect. You're not, you shouldn't try to be perfect at everything all the time, but you just start,
Yeah.
start somewhere. And, I can remember when when I ran 2 miles, I was just like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
and then, I learned a lot about shoes, like what kind of shoes I should use.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was one point in time where my right shoe, my toes had worn through it, and I could feel the pavement on my toes.
I'm so guilty of
And my wife,
wearing my shoes out. I'm so guilty of that.
yeah. Well, I mean, you don't want to waste. You want to get all your money's worth out of them.
Yeah, yeah, I'm with you on that. Okay, that's so great. I love that you shared that. And, and because I think people do, we all do. It's just our human brain wants to be like, I want to go from here to here and it to be this perfect picture and to get all the results. And instead it actually looks like more of what you described. And we could probably even go down that hole of like being sore when you start running, and it kind of sucks. Like it takes many days and weeks and months of running where it actually sucks. Like, would you say that is kind of the case? There's you get the benefits too. It does feel good. You get those psychological, like, feel good, I did this. But I'm sure you felt soreness. You felt like days where it was like, oh, this is actually tough to do too. Would you say that's true?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, the shin splints. I remember I went to the doctor. I was like, man, something's going on with my shins. And he's like, well, do you run the same way every day? And I never thought of it. I was running the same route every day.
Yeah.
And he's like, change it up. He said, instead of going, the same route, go the other way.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I'll try that. And the and then when he actually referred me to a physical therapist because I was having some hamstring.
Mm-hmm.
I was beating my hamstrings up.
Mm.
And I wasn't really stretching the way I should have. So the doctor referred me to a physical therapist. He said, well, here, go here
Mm-hmm.
and get some help with learning what you need to do as far as stretching and stuff like that. And I learned a lot from the physical therapist.
Mm-hmm.
And the physical therapist, he looked at me and he was like, I was like, so how much are you running every day? I said, I try to do 8 miles a day. And he said, every day. I said, yeah. I was like, I try to do at least 8. That's what I've been doing. And he said, man, he's like, you're beating your hamstring up. He's like, you're beating yourself up. And I was just, I'm just like, no, I was like, I got to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Because at that time I was down to my lowest. I was at 181
Mm.
and I was just, and at that time, I wasn't really lifting weights or anything. I was just straight running. And, um, and I told him, I said, because he told me, he's like, you got to give it a couple. He's like, you need to take about 3 or 4 days off. I said, what do you mean? I was like, no, I was like, this is how I've lost all my weight.
Mm.
And he said, I'm sorry, but you got to learn, you got to work on strength training. He taught me, he showed me some stuff about strength training too.
Mm.
That helped a lot,
Mm-hmm.
because I wasn't working out everything I should have been working out. But the stretches I learned from him and the routine I got from him, it helps me to this day. I do every morning. I stretch for about 30
Mm.
minutes, doing different things, just to get ready. Definitely if I'm going to do, you know, I consider like 10 miles a long run.
Mm-hmm.
13, I've done 13 every now and then. But I use it. My happy medium is 8 to 10 miles.
Yeah.
So
So
is what I like to try to do.
I'm curious so you went from the 252 to 181. Was that like another year that it took you to get down there?
Yeah, it was about a little bit less than a year.
Okay. And that was you. How often were you running? So you weren't lifting weights at this time. So were you literally running like almost every day then until you met with the PT?
Yeah, almost every day.
Yeah.
And I'd take some days off. I mean, because that's one thing. You know how it is on YouTube, TikTok. You got David Goggins. And I'm not knocking any of these guys. Like, go one more or not go. That's Nick Bear, or no days off.
Mm.
Keep grinding, keep hustling, and that's great for motivation.
Mm-hmm.
But your body will let you know
Mm-hmm.
when you need to slow down.
Yeah.
And you need to listen. And you need to listen to your body.
Yes. And I think that is key, like overarching, no matter what, like that should be everybody's true north is listen to your body. Mm-hmm. And I also was curious in that too, because I share typically a 2-day rule where, and I know this to be true for my body. And I think it's true for most people in that, like, don't go more than 2 days without moving your body. And that could just be a walk, but mm-hmm. kind of when you were sharing, like you were running every day and the progress that you got from that. And I think anyone could achieve that, whether they were walking every day, they could achieve progress, but you had such momentum because you never let yourself go too far without working out. And I just, when you were sharing some of that came to my mind where I was like, it just felt really powerful. You were like, wait, stop for 3 or 4 days? That sounds ridiculous. because you know how you felt by moving your body. It felt so good and you were getting these results. Not to say that there wasn't room there to take it back and stretch and add in some rest days. But even that though, stretching is movement. That was still movement. So I wanted to kind of pull that out to share, like people see it doesn't have to be running 8 miles a day, but you're continually moving your body. And that was creating such big results. And so I kind of wanted to touch back on this then too, where you said when you were like at the 250 and about a year into your journey that you found Nick Barr and you started looking at like these YouTube videos and things. How big do you feel like having that support and these aspirational people to like look up to, how do you feel that's played a role in your journey?
It's played a big role, just watching what they're doing, and that, because when you're watching them doing it, it's proven to you that you can do it.
Yeah.
You might not be as fast as them or as good as them at it, or you don't look like them, but it's giving you motivation to go, okay, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to go, okay, I'm going to do 4 miles a day, or I'm going to do 6 miles a day. And that's what I'm going to do. And it, it helps you stay motivated.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest takeaway I get from it. And then you learn a lot because,
Mm-hmm.
they talk about, don't go out there and just go wide open,
Mm-hmm.
warm up a little bit, pace yourself, work on your breathing. There's so much information.
Yeah.
It's overwhelming.
Yeah.
Like when you start taking it all in and you start listening to everybody talk and podcasts and everybody's opinion about what you need to do and how you need to do it, it can be overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
But it was, I learned a lot from watching Nick in his videos when he was running, and it motivated me a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. And I really think that's so powerful to hear. I always preach, like, I think we all need a community and support, and to have that for motivation, or to have that to be like, that's learning from too. That was another thing I wanted to like share and pull out, is this whole time on your journey, what I'm hearing is you were so resourceful and you were not going to give up. So you went to your doctor once because you had shin splints. You're like, what's going on? Then he recommended you to the PT. You went to the PT. You got more information. You learned more. You took that on your journey. Then you found Nick and these YouTube videos and you took that on your journey. You went to a running store and got shoes. Like, so much to support you to keep going. Whereas I see a lot of people being like, well, this didn't work. My hands are up. Let me just quit. Like, that didn't work for me. Instead of getting resourceful and failing and trying something new to get better and just repeat. And that's what I see from you and your story is like, okay, well, this didn't work. I've got really tight hamstrings now. Okay, well, how do I fix that? And then you did it. And then you just rinse and repeat and kept growing. Sorry, a little rant there, but I was like, I really want people to like hear that, like from your story, and like how you just kept going even when things weren't working. Oh, Jeff, what did I have here next? Okay, so take us from that point. So you've been running, and take us from then you started to lift weights. Like, what was that transition like, and how has that helped you and allowed you to grow?
Yeah. So, the biggest part about that is I started going to the gym. And there, and of course, COVID's going on, and a lot of the weight that I lost, I didn't do it at the gym. I did it outside my house, around my neighborhood.
Yeah.
Where I grew up. I live right in the neighborhood I grew up.
Oh,
So I did a lot of my weight loss journey with the food, the menus, staying on track with that, and then just going outside in my own backyard, my neighborhood. And then I started going to the gym, and at first the gym's always intimidating, because you got people in there, they're just like, Planet Fitness can't throw stuff around, or they frown upon that.
Yeah.
But it's a basic gym, and I went in there and I was intimidated, and I was like, I remember I made an appointment because when you sign up, you can get somebody to show you around the gym. And I got this guy to show me around the gym because I didn't know how to use all the equipment. I didn't know what to do, didn't know exactly what it was all for. So I took that time with him and asked him a bunch of questions. I said, I know some of this probably, he's probably like, why is this guy asking this? He should know this. But I asked the question, and I just started doing different things with the weight training, until I found something that started to work, where, I was working my legs more. I was building up more muscle in my legs, in my arms, in my chest. And um, then I started to see that was helping me with longer runs.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
It was helping me be able to go out there and do 10 miles and be like, all right, cool, let's go to work.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
get done and be like, all right, I feel good now. I'm ready to go to work now.
Yeah.
So, um, and now, and one thing that I kind of struggle with is, when you start to lift weights, you put muscle on, so you do put weight on,
Mm-hmm.
But your clothes still fit
Mm.
good,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I was telling this story to a young man I work with at work last night. And I said, I was sitting there thinking I've always been in 2XLs
Mm.
or 3XL shirts to feel comfortable,
Mm.
you know? And I was like, I'm wearing large shirts from Target. I can wash it and then I can dry it and I can put it on and I feel comfortable.
Mm.
I've never been able to feel that in my life.
Oh, that's amazing. Oh my God.
I've never been able to feel that way about myself, and I struggle with, I still see that guy
Mm-hmm.
when I look in the mirror, you know, and it's hard. I deal with that every day. Like, I'm like, I should, you know, sometimes I'm like, I got loose skin
Mm.
from,
Mm-hmm.
from that,
Yep.
it's not horrible, but it's loose skin,
Yep. Yeah.
but it's better than it being
Yeah.
stretched,
Right.
you
Right.
know, but, that's something that I deal with every day is just, I'm proud of myself
Yeah.
for what I've done. I'm proud of how far I've come, but I still feel like I got more I can do.
Yeah.
I can still improve on running.
Mm-hmm.
I can, I've never done a 5K. I've never done
Mm.
a half marathon. I've never done a marathon. Um, I've never done Ironman or anything like that. So I'm thinking that maybe it might be time for me to start maybe trying to do a goal like that,
Mm.
because now I know that there's resources out there
Mm-hmm.
that I can listen to, like podcasts like yours or other
Mm-hmm.
people's podcasts, and listen to people talk about the training that they do
Mm-hmm.
and what they do to fuel.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another thing too that I learned a lot about. You know, you got to eat to fuel.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you still got to eat, but to be able to do the things that you want to do.
Yeah. Oh,
So
that's so exciting, Jeff. I love that.
yeah,
And like, it just, it goes to show of like, you took on this journey, this weight loss journey and transformation, and it took time and it took a lot of like failing in resources to get here. But now your doors are opened and you're like, yeah, no, what about this and this and this and this? And
mhm,
I want people to hear that and see that, to be like, that can be you too. Like, I really feel that if you have your health as your foundation, whether that's a physical goal or a business goal or a parenting goal, like whatever it is, your doors are now opened. You see so much possibility for yourself and you have the
mhm.
tools. You're like, yeah, toolbox right here. I could achieve this. There's resources out there. There's all these things. Of course I could do this. Like, just the shift in like your thoughts and who you are now and who you can become is so profound and amazing. So I love that you're thinking about that. And I wanted to touch on something too when you were talking there, just about how comfortable you are. Well, first of all, thank you for sharing that. I think that's really powerful for people to hear. And just to like share even like So obviously your body has changed, right? And now you have this mindset of like doing more. But like, how else did it affect like this journey? Like, how else did it affect your life as far as like maybe your work or your relationship with your wife or with your daughter? Like, how has taking on this healthy lifestyle actually impacted you in more than just the physical way?
Yeah, it you know, it's really helped me with relieving, not being so stressed.
Mm,
It's really kind of opened my eyes as far as I feel like I don't get as stressed as I used to
hmm
as much, because I feel like I can do whatever I want to do, whatever I set my mind to, I can do it. Um, and it's it's helped my whole life, the whole big circle. It's helped it so much, and just having my family that supports me, my
mm,
wife support me, going, you know, you're crazy doing this or doing that, but she supports me.
hmm
My daughter supports me. Um, my family, my parents, my brothers, my sister-in-law, my brother-in-law, they all have been a great support, and they keep encouraging me to do more. And that's one thing that you know I was telling my mom. I was like, I want to tell my story. And
Yeah.
she's like, you need to tell your story.
Yeah.
You know, my, you know, she's like, you need to just do. Just tell stuff. Keep telling it. Um, and I was trying to share more on Instagram and Facebook and stuff, and it's a lot. I was trying to like start making videos and stuff, but it takes a lot of work
Yeah.
to do that. So I'm getting there, and I post a lot on the Go One More community,
hmm
because there's a great support system there, encouragement. When I got COVID, I posted on there that what was going on, and people were like, take a rest, you know, get better, drink plenty of fluids,
hmm
and when you start working back out, take it slow,
Mm, yeah.
and my dad was sending me emails and links and stuff of how to get back into working out, and that's what I've done. I started taking it easy. I went back to the gym. I did about half of what I normally would do,
hmm
and it's crazy because just being off that like week and a half
hmm
from not doing, because I was in the bed. I was resting,
Yeah.
trying to relax or trying to get better. And when I started going back, I was like, oh, that hurts, that's sore.
hmm
Ooh, and it takes a while to build that endurance back up.
hmm
And I went for a 4 mile run the other day, and my pace was 8:40, and I was like, well, it's not as good as it normally is, but I did it,
Yes.
and I'm starting back slow, and I'm taking it easy, so
Yes.
that or not taking it easy, but not putting that pressure on yourself, like you need to be back at 8 miles tomorrow,
Yeah.
you know, because if that thought comes to my mind, I'm like, no, you're crazy if you're gonna try to do that, you know,
Right. Right.
you need to take it easy.
Yeah. Or I was just going to say too, like, or a lot of the times when we have the pressure thoughts like that, then we're like, well, F it. I shouldn't even, don't even go. It's not worth it if I can't do the 8 minute mile or if I can't go back to where I was. And people will kind of say that to themselves. And it's like, just start, just do
Hmm.
something and start slow. And that's an okay place to start because then you'll get to where you were a lot.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. That's the biggest thing is just you know I just want people to know that you can change, you control it.
Mm,
You control what you eat. Um, you control the fact that you can go outside for 30 minutes and walk before you go to work.
hmm
You know, just start with something. Just do a half mile.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what? Kind of a side note. My stepfather had quadruple bypass surgery
Mm-hmm.
earlier this year, and he's walking now.
Mm.
You know, he's walking around the neighborhood, and you know, he said that I was his motivation. You know,
Mm.
to start walking, and I'm like, that's great. You know, and he's not a heavy man.
Mm-hmm.
He's a very slender person. You know, and just because you're thin or you don't weigh a whole lot doesn't mean you don't have other stuff going on.
Yeah.
You know, but he had that done, and he's out there walking around the neighborhood. He'll be like, I walked 2 miles this morning. I walked 3 miles a day. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just good to see him. And I can be in my living room and I'll see him walk by because my parents, they live one block over.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
So
That's so great.
so yeah.
And it just like, and that too, it's like, sometimes I think we feel like we need the support of our spouse or our partner or our family or our friends. Like we need them to lift us up and be in control of us making healthy choices. But here you are and being the example of being the change yourself, of you taking the action. And then now you've inspired your stepfather. Is that who it was? Yeah.
My stepfather.
You've inspired him to start walking. And I'm sure your other friends and family are going to get, the bug. If it hasn't hit them yet, it's going to. And so I just think it's so great to be like, you are the change. And from that, by you taking the action and by you doing the steps, that's how other people will be enrolled in your goal and in your journey, right? And that we don't have to wait for anybody else to give us the permission or to support us. If they do, great. That's fantastic. But if they don't, it doesn't mean that you can't do it.
That's right.
Yeah.
And people can do it. You can do it. People can change.
Yeah.
You can turn your whole life around if you want to.
Mm.
And like you were saying, resources. That's with anything in life.
Mm-hmm.
If you need to know how to fix something, whether it's your car, your washing machine, your dryer, what do? You look at YouTube or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You can fix it. You ask somebody. If you want to start getting healthier, go to your doctor, get your blood work done. I remember they gave me a pamphlet, about what food I need to eat and stuff to help me lose weight. There's stuff out there. You just have to know how to get it, where to get it, and make it convenient for you.
I love that.
Figure out a way to make exercising convenient. The food that you eat, your menus, what you're going to eat, what you're going to take for work to lunch the next day, that way you're not rushing out of the door and then you're like, oh, I'll stop right here by Chick-fil-A real quick,
Mm-hmm.
or McDonald's and grab something, make it convenient for yourself. And it takes time.
Mm.
You're not going to get it all in 1 week.
Yeah.
Or 2 weeks or a month.
Yeah.
You got to start somewhere with it, see how it works, and then make adjustments as you go. And, you can do it.
Oh my gosh, Jeff, this is so good. Like, y'all just rewind that, listen to the last couple of minutes again. I mean, this is pure stuff that I even coach on, is the things that you're sharing with people. Take that and run with it, y'all. And your proof is in the pudding of your results that you've got. To take those things you just said there, get started, give yourself time. Look at you. It took 2 years or more to do that, and you're still going. It's a lifestyle now. Get resourceful and even find the support in your life, even if that's online and on Instagram, someone you follow. So powerful. You can just take those steps. And I love this. This is I'm going to quote you on this, Jeff. Make it convenient. And it
Hmm.
sounds so simple, but the way you put it and you sharing your specific examples, I think is really great for people to see how you made it convenient. And even the like on a budget, because people think that
Hmm.
healthy eating has to be really expensive, and it doesn't. So I think that's just like if people had that thought, let me just make it convenient for me. Like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's, I mean, because you think everything else. That's what companies do out there. They make it convenient for you to stop by and
Mm-hmm.
get the sandwich,
Mm.
and they make it convenient. And if you can do that for yourself and figure it out, it'll take, like you said, it'll take a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But once you get it, and then you start seeing the progress and just keep doing the same thing, you know,
Yeah.
change it up every now and then.
Yep.
Go a different way, like the doctor said.
Yeah.
Go take a different route. Um, Change it up every now and then to keep it interesting. But you'll start seeing those results, and you'll feel so much better.
Mm.
You'll sleep better. Your Everything just gets better, I think.
So good. Yeah.
So
Jeff, thank you so much. I feel like there's been so much you've shared here that's going to help so many people. Is there anything else you feel like I didn't ask or we didn't share that you want to share?
no, I think I pretty much shared everything. I just, one thing I would like to say is that, um, you know, if you're struggling with substance abuse
Mm,
or anything like that, get help. There's resources out there to get help with substance abuse, alcoholism, and even being obese or being overweight. There's help,
yeah.
and you can get it. You just got to ask people.
Mm,
And it's like my wife says, if you don't ask, you don't get. So if you
mm.
don't ask, you don't get. So you ask for the information that you need, you can get it. And that you can do anything you set your mind to. You just gotta do it.
Oh,
And you can do it.
and you can do it. Like right here, you guys. Thank you, Jeff, so much for sharing and giving us all these amazing tools and so much here today. I really appreciate it. And I can't wait to follow you along this year. So, actually, on that, do you have an Instagram or anywhere you want people to follow you?
I do have an Instagram. It's Campbell it's Campbell Jeffrey 20 at Instagram, I guess. I don't
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm trying to get used to this stuff. And I'm on Facebook, but it's Jeffrey Kristen Johnson Campbell,
Mm-hmm.
because me and my wife have a joint Facebook account. And I am on TikTok,
Mm-hmm.
which my name is Knocking Pounds Off.
Like it. Yep.
So I have some stuff on there, but not a whole lot of stuff. But so yeah,
That's
you can
good.
reach me out there if anybody wants anything. And I appreciate you reaching out on the Go One More community. And
Yeah.
I'm glad I reached out to you, and I'm glad I did this. So
Oh,
I appreciate it.
same, Jeffrey. Oh my God, I'm so excited. And I know this is just the start of your journey and sharing. I'm so glad that we got to capture it now and then to watch you grow from here with all the things that I know you'll do. And for even if one person heard this and was like, oh my God, I can relate, I can resonate and take that, like it starts here. So I'm so grateful that you were here today.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're, you're welcome, Jeff.